So the next question, Mr. President, inside our EEZ, sino ang pinakamaraming reclamation?
Right now, it is, as I'm made to understand, it is Vietnam.
Okay. Sinong pangalawa?
Again, according to our DND resource person, China is the second.
Okay. Mali po, it's Malaysia. So, tama ako, Malaysia. You got 1 out of 4 questions correct. Not bad. The first to reclaim was Vietnam. The most aggressive to reclaim and most islands is Vietnam.
Yes, that's correct.
The most aggressive is Vietnam. The country to first propose to President Obama not to militarize na hindi tinanggap ng American government is China. One way of protecting them is through diplomatic ties, correct?
Definitely, Mr.
Yes.
President.
So, Mr. President, would it be possible to have a problem with another country in one aspect of the relationship, but continue to grow your relationship on other aspects, no? So, for example, you have a dispute on trade, but in terms of migration, you have very good agreements. In terms of scholarships or people-to-people relations, maganda yan, di ba? So, pwede po ba yun? Pwede ho bang may alitan, may dispute tayo sa isang country, pero maganda pa rin ang relationship natin?
In other aspects, Mr. President, yes, that is possible. In fact, the issues, for example, of Japan and China with respect to territorial disputes is separate and distinct from their trade relations, Mr. President. So yes, these disputes can coincide with healthy relations in other aspects of trade, foreign exchange, cultural exchange, among others, Mr. President. That's correct.
So, Mr. President, these are all preliminary, and I hope you give me a little bit of latitude on it. But to go straight to the point, can we have good relationship with China despite our dispute in the West Philippine Sea and the South China Sea?
Up to a certain extent that, yes, definitely, we hope we could be able to distinguish between our territorial disputes as well as, for example, our desire for greater trade with China. Mr. President, we'd like to see something like that, yes.
So I thank you for your answer, and I think it is perfectly correct because we do have very, very good relationships with Malaysia and Vietnam despite our dispute with them in the West Philippine Sea, the South China Sea. In fact, sa Malaysia, we have 2 disputes. We have dispute in the West Philippine Sea, but we also have dispute about Sabah.
That's correct.
No? Of course, they do not recognize that we do have a dispute regarding Sabah because as far as they're concerned, there was a UN referendum and that's done, di ba? So there can be a dispute despite the fact that the other side says walang dispute, tapos na to.
Well, yes, definitely.
Yes. So, could it be possible, Mr. President, that marami sa atin pare-pareho ang stand? To simplify, atin to. Atin to. I will not go into the details that Senator Marcoleta went into or His Honor or others where you look at the legal basis of the different entitlements and territory. I think mahaba po yun. No? If you go to the Treaty of Paris, the amendments, the difference between territory and sovereign rights, mahaba yon. But would it be possible na pareho tayo ng stand, atin to, pero iba lang tayo ng approach kung paano ma-secure ang benefits ng atin ito?
Well, definitely, Mr. President, we are in a democracy. We can agree but at the same time have differences in approaches, Mr. President. We can agree on a fundamental principle that the exclusive economic zone, for example, of the Philippines has been ruled upon. We can agree that the arbitral ruling is a victory for us. But we can also disagree in terms of how to move forward in approaching China with respect to other considerations, Mr. Pro, other concerns, Mr. President.
Pareho tayo ng stand, atin to. Etong portions ng South China Sea, West Philippine Sea, na territory natin. Ako, mas radical pa stand ko. Hindi lang yung 12 nautical miles. Yung nasa Treaty of Spanish, atin din yun. Hindi natin pwedeng basta't i-give up yon by international treaty. Diba? Some will disagree, some will agree. The Supreme Court case na final ni a brilliant man ni Professor Magallona, diba? Nasabi niya, sa UNCLOS, bumawas yung ating territory. But we're not here to discuss that now. We're discussing, number one, yung sagutan ng opisyales at nila. So I just want to point that out, Mr. President, Senator Pangilinan, because we don't want to be hitting each other kung pareho naman pala stand natin in terms of sovereign rights and sovereignty. Let it be oversimplified. Si Senator Amy, kapitbahay natin dalawa, co-owners tayo, may puno ng mangga sa gitna. Sabi ni Senator Amy, sa kanya yon. Sabi natin dalawa, sa atin yon. Tuwing nagbubunga, nag-aaway tayo. Ang problema, mas mayaman sa atin si Senator Amy. Ang problema, marami pong tangke, airplano, pati sa pera, pati sa diplomacy, sa abogado, mas marami si Senator Amy. So ako, ang stand ko, makipag-usap tayo kay Senator Amy. Ikaw ang stand mo, hindi, sinisigawan na tayo, makipagsigawan na tayo. So we have the same stand. Mr. President, let me just finish this sentence.
Yes, and I will clarify
We
because
are
it's not...
but ang pinag-uusapan natin, yung approach. Pero as so far as saying na etong puno ng mangga ay atin, pareho tayo.
Pero hindi po nakikipagsigawan ang I would not describe yung position taken by this representation as nakikipagsigawan. In fact, maganda yung point ng minority leader, yung kanyang paghahambing na sila, ang China, maraming baril, maraming resources, maraming armamento, etc. At dahil nga doon, napakahalaga na ating isinusulong yung rule of law at yung ating sandigan ay yung international law. Hindi natin maaaring labanan ng puwersa ang China. We cannot fight in the area of brute force. And that's why we are fighting in the area of the arbitral ruling, the UNCLOS, the rule of law, international law.
Yes. I will not disagree with you. When I said sigawan, it was in the context of magkapitbahay, etc. Because, Mr. President, President Aquino and President Duterte had very different approach. President Aquino, at a certain point, to be fair to him, at a certain point, may bilateral na pag-uusap. But after the standoff sa Scarborough, nagkaroon po ng, for lack of better word, we call it megaphone diplomacy. Di ba? Yung maingay sa media. But for the record, Mr. President, did we lose a single inch of territory or sovereign rights? Did we lose a single centavo during the Duterte administration?
Well, according to the Department of National Defense, because this was tackled during the interpellation last week, that despite the Duterte administration's positioning, the harassment did not stop. The water cannoning did not stop. And therefore, this is the situation, Mr. President. Hindi naman tumigil yung paghaharas. Hindi rin tumigil yung pag-water cannon.
Mr. President, we'll speak about that. Iibahin ko yon kasi ibang issue kung yung dispute was live at umaabot ba sa water cannon. Ang tinatanong ko, kasi during President Aquino's time, it's on the record, we lost control of Scarborough. We lost control. May miscalculations na nangyari. Instead of sending a Coast Guard ship, we sent a military ship, Navy, a gray ship, and then nagkaroon ng standoff and then kinontrol ng Chinese. So when President Duterte took over, that's what we had to deal with, the threats that it will further escalate. So from the time that President Duterte took over, June 30, 2016, until the time he left, June 30, 2022, did we lose a single feature, a single square inch? Did we lose part of our territory? I think it's on the record, we did not.
Well, if we did not lose any, then we thank the efforts of the past administration. But did we gain? Were we able to reverse the losses? I think not. Were we able to improve our trade, direct investments, etc.? I would say not so. Not as robust in terms of other countries. So therefore, may plus minus din po, Mr. President.
Well, let me answer that in two ways. First, I appeal to the records. We had more trade than during the Aquino administration. More bananas, other fruits were allowed into China. The tourism went up. First time in our history, lumaban yung dami ng Chinese versus dumami ng Japanese. And then yung hindi nakakapangisda, your staff, I have my support staff, you have your support staff, they can Google it. President Duterte announced that our fishermen can fish. Hindi lang pwede sa loob ng lagoon. And pati yon meron dahilan because spawning grounds yon eh. So hindi dapat mag-fish dun sa loob. Long story short, hindi nakakapag-fish nun. Did we gain? That is now the challenge of the Marcos administration. And that's why I have not commented whether I'm for or against because his national security knows more of what's happening on the ground. And ongoing pa yung kanilang strategy. Do I hope that they will gain? I think there are some gains in the Scarborough. Of course, I hope that they will gain. Kaya nga ulit-ulitin ko, pareho stand natin, atin to eh. Yung approach natin ang iba. And tayo, nakakapag-discuss tayo, I will agree with you or disagree, you will disagree with me, but I will not call you hypocrite, pro-China, anti-China, anti-Philippines, ganyan. Because precisely, you know, when I was in the Foreign Affairs Department, question ako ng Malaysian, Indonesian more of curiosity at Vietnamese. Bakit ganito yung strategy? Because nakikinabang sila sa strategy natin pag tayo maingay. But I got the shock of my life. Why? Because when I actually became Foreign Secretary, the funds from the United States for the South China Sea, mas malaki ang nakukuha ng Vietnam kaso sa Pilipinas. Ginera nila ang Vietnam, tinalo sila. Tayo, treaty ally, mas malaki. Ang before the administration of President Duterte, binigyan ng same kind of ship or seacraft ang Taiwan sa Pilipinas. Yung sa kanila may weapon system, may communication system. Sa atin, walang weapon system. So Mr. President, what I'm saying is that pareho tayo ng stand. Pareho natin mahal ang Pilipinas. Pareho natin gustong makinabang ang bawat Pilipino, ang anak ng anak ng anak ng anak ng anak natin. You know, President Cory, in her visit to China, actually started the discussion on this. So it's not new, no? So if you have comment, Mr. President, then can I have just a few more preliminary? Go ahead, Mr.
Just
President.
very quickly on the Scarborough Shoal incident. Precisely because of the Scarborough Shoal incident, the
Aquino administration proceeded to file the case before the International Tribunal a few years later. I think 1 year or several months later. And we won, thankfully.
Yes.
And in that regard, we placed on record that the 9-dash line of China is illegal according to the UNCLOS, that they're setting up building destruction of the reefs and building artificial islands and runways was violative of our EEZ, and that alone gave us a strong footing. So strong in the sense that moving forward, several years later, about 60 countries have recognized the 2016 ruling.
Yes.
That favored precisely the Philippine position and counting. So I'd like to think that yes, that incident in Scarborough was most unfortunate that it led to that. But because of that incident, we, as a smaller nation, decided that the way to addressing the challenge of a bigger nation, more powerful nation, is by way of the rule of law, by international law.
Yes, Mr. President. But there were many things that happened in between. One, we made the mistake of sending a gray ship. Number two, if the records I read is correct, we made the mistake of relying on back channeling and an alleged, until now, walang confirmation o denial, kung totoong nag-mediate ang Amerika at sinabing pag umalis yung ships nyo, aalis din yung Chinese ships, umalis yung ship natin, hindi umalis yung Chinese ship. So I leave that to history to judge. But one question on the arbitral ruling. Is it a total victory o meron din parts na nagka-problema tayo?
Well, there is this concern that, which was already raised previously, that because the Kalayaan group of islands is not within the EEZ rather, then it creates some questions regarding our sovereign rights and sovereignty over the KIG. But it can be argued that in the same way, for example, Guam is not within the EEZ of the United States, it is still U.S. territory.
Medyo exhaustive naman po ang inyong talakayan ni Senator Marcoleta. I'll just try to summarize it in one line. Yung nangyari kasi doon, claim natin na China cannot claim a group of features as one unit that, what's the right word, that generates entitlements and rights, di ba? But tayo, claim natin yung KIG as a group. That's why last minute lang nalaman nung lawyer natin. So, but as I said, exhaustive kayo. But maraming hindi nakakaalam, and I think this is where it's upsetting to scholars. Because I got the shock of my life. Before I went to DFA, I attended seminars, international seminars. Ito yung mga track 2, mga professors. At tinanong nga ako ng isang professor, "Sir, did you win the arbitral award?" Of course, sagot ko yes, but I knew it was sort of a trick question. So he asked me, "Sa Scarborough Shoal, didn't you used to arrest Chinese fishermen?" "Yes." "Oh, didn't you used to arrest Vietnamese fishermen?" "Yes." "O ano ba ang sinabi sa award?" Sabi sa award, it is recognized as traditional fishing ground of all three: Chinese, Filipinos, Vietnamese. So ngayon, hindi na natin sila pwedeng arestuhin. So hindi rin totoo na parang Biblia, as far as we are Christians is concerned, that every part of the Bible is true. May mga naging kahinaan din itong agad-agad natin pagpunta sa arbitral ruling. Kaya, in resetting our problem in Scarborough Shoal, hindi na natin mababalik sa before Pinoy's time or before the standoff because stop na tayo nung ruling sa arbitral court.
But in the conceding that may be the case in terms of us arresting other fishers from other nations, the fact that there was a recognition that these are traditional fishing grounds for all means that China is now doing illegal acts by water cannoning our fisher folk who are in the area, Mr. President. So in that
No,
regard,
Mr. President, that was clear even before. But before, pwede natin sila arestuhin. Ngayon, hindi na natin sila pwedeng arestuhin. Dati, pag i-easy natin, kailangan nila ng fisheries agreement. Kung hindi, pwede natin silang arestuhin. Parang Papua New Guinea. Sa ngayon, doon na tayo kumukuha. Not all, but tuna, kumukuha tayo sa EEZ nila, pero may fishing agreement. Sa ibang parts ng EEZ natin, we can still arrest.
yes.
But not in Scarborough. But that's not my point. My point is, we can discuss soberly as patriotic Filipinos how to navigate this and secure our territory and also benefit from all of this, from our sovereign rights, di ba? Without saying you're pro-China, you're anti-China, Senador ka, etc. No? And the funny thing is, Mr. Llamas was correct on that point. Because sila sabi niya, hindi man pinag-aralan lahat, iba-iba yan. Iba yung stand natin sa Ayungin, iba stand natin sa KIG, kay Don. Kaya lang ngayon, biglang balimbing na, biglang totally siya ang Mr. Philippines. No? Mr. President, who was the first to start reclaiming in the South China Sea?
At least from the Philippine
What country, Mr. President?
Oh, you're from the DND. Yes, our DND resource person says that it was Malaysia
Okay.
that started claiming. No?
Okay. And of the claimant countries, sinong pinaka-aggressive?
Of the claimant countries.
I'm not talking about 1
China.
month, 1
China,
year.
of
In the
course.
last 20 years, China.
Yes.
Okay. Sino pinaka maraming reclamation?
China. As of today, Vietnam, according to the DND, Mr. President.
What country offered the United States not to militarize the reclamations, etc.?
Actually, Philippines was the first, but President Ramos was the first to say not to militarize that.
Ramos.
Yeah, before.
Yes, according to our resource person, it was President Ramos who first
Okay.
requested not to militarize the area, Mr.
Okay.
President.
Not bad yung taga-DND, sir. You got 1 out of 4 questions correct. Not bad. The first to reclaim was Vietnam. The most aggressive to reclaim and most islands is Vietnam.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
The most aggressive is Vietnam. The country to first propose to President Obama not to militarize na hindi tinanggap ng American government is China. President Xi was still vice president there. It's recorded in many, many books. I recommend you read yung kay Mahubani, a great diplomat, a great professor of the Lee Kuan Yew School of Government. No? Instead of saying yes, they continued to send their Navy ships because of the freedom of navigation. And China reacted the same way that US reacted to missiles on Cuba. No? So the next question, Mr. President, inside our EEZ, sino ang pinakamaraming reclamation?
Right now, it is, as I'm made to understand, it is Vietnam.
Okay. Sinong pangalawa?
Again, according to our DND resource person, China is the second.
Okay. Mali po, it's Malaysia. So, tama ako, Malaysia. Kasi, Malaysia has 5. Well, if he considers the one by Taiwan because of the one China policy, then tied ang Malaysia at saka China. May I know if militarized etong mga nireclaim ng Vietnam at saka ng Malaysia?
Yung sa Vietnam, they have their own military.
Yes, according to our resource persons in Vietnam, there are military personnel and officers. And
So
officials.
military personnel lang naman, but hindi militarized.
Well, yes, not in the context or not.
In the context of the Chinese,
Yes, not in the relative to.
Okay. Ang Malaysia po.
sa Malaysia, sir, may military and then they also have a civilianized island.
Similar. They have the military, but they also have civilianized islands, Mr. President.
Yeah, kasi nagsipin ko sa ating military.
Isa-isa pictures.
Aklan is military.
Yeah.
It's part of defense. So, doing national defense on our part is not actually military.
Mr. President, I'm looking for the pictures, but I don't know kung hindi lang authorized ang representative nyo sa DND. Ang features ng Vietnam at Malaysia are may missile silos, may military ships, may radars. I showed it already in this session hall. So hindi totoo na hindi militarized ang Vietnam at saka ang Malaysian features. I'm trying to look for the pictures. Is it there? Yeah,